Hello, guys. Welcome once again today to another episode of our live session, our business live session. So today we have an interesting set of guys that will be joining us shortly. These guys, they have a startup that operate out of Nigeria, and they are building some very interesting products and uh, using technology or different technologies that I think will really be amazing for us to hear their story and listen to some of the challenges that they are experiencing, what their plans for growth are, and what the future looks like for them. So I'm just hoping for them to come on shortly and we can proceed. So the Nigerian tech space has seen a lot of growth in the past few years, and this is as a result of the advancement in tech. A lot of guys are becoming more tech conscious, looking at the environment and some of the problems that they can solve using technology. And it's really interesting to see some of these ideas come to reality. We see every day on the news lots of startups are getting funding and they are taking off. So I would like to hear what this guy's stories are, and then hopefully we can all pick something from their experience, and those who are looking, who have ideas that are still at the adjacent stage, would be able to learn and implement some of the things that these guys have done to take their ideas to market. So I'm just waiting for them to come on and we can begin our conversation. They're supposed to join by 2, so meanwhile I think I can just play something in the background to keep the mode entertained. Hi, Dora Media. How are you?
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
I'm looking to play something. Happy Sunday too. They are here, just waiting for them to request to join and we can get started. Just 4 minutes, 4 minutes behind schedule. I see my friend. I love this song. I don't know why. I'm a Port Harcourt boy, and this song used to. Okay, they're here.
Hi, sorry.
Hey.
Hi, OKEZIE. Long
Uh,
time. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Yeah, good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Yeah, so my name is Richmond, and Emeka here is my friend, and I got in contact with him recently to talk about some of the things that you guys are doing and see if you guys would be interested to share. And that's why we're here today. So the objective of this whole thing is to get people to know what you guys are doing, be able to share your stories, some of the challenges, the tech space in Nigeria, opportunities out there, and hopefully to inspire people who are looking to do some of the things that you guys are doing, and also bring attention to some of the products that you guys are building.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
so yeah, by
All
way
right,
of
so yeah.
starting, you guys just introduce yourself so we can know who
Oh,
is
okay.
who. And
All right.
Introduce you.
Okay.
Introduce you. So yeah, so Richmond, it's been a long while. I think the last time we saw ourselves was I think August. Last August
yeah,
in Aberdeen. It's been a long while. So yeah, these are my co-founders. This is our boss. Yeah, his name is Frankie. He's the one that he's the one that runs everything. He runs everything at the company. This is Kosi. So Frankie is he's in charge of IoT. So Scuudu Labs, we have 4 arms. We'll get into everything we'll do later in the interview. But we'll have 4 arms: IoT, AI, game development, and branding. So he's in charge of the IoT departments. He has a lot of years of experience in IoT. Then behind me is Kosi. He's in charge of our branding, UI, UX, and all of that. And then this is
okay,
Chinedu. He's in charge of game development. So he has done a lot of games for us and yeah, all of that. But we'll get into that later on. Yeah,
okay.
it's nice to meet you. And we're going to try and keep it as insightful as possible. And yeah. So
Yeah,
so let's begin.
that's the whole plan. So first question, I'm interested in you guys. The name Scuudu. It sounds. I love the name. It sounds like I'm wondering what's the inspiration behind the name. And you guys,
Okay. I think Chinedu, you go for that now.
Well, actually, we were looking for a name. So we were going from one name to another. Then we wanted something that would sound a bit African and playful at times. So we chose something like the sound of the drums of Africa, like
okay.
I was like, okay, that sounded nice, so we decided to go with the name Scuudu.
Yeah, it sounds really nice. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah, there's
the
not.
name.
So it's kind of shows vibes we have around ourselves. Like we like to share, we like to create team and everything.
Okay, excellent. So how did you start? Like, how did you come about the whole
All right.
startup?
The team, yeah.
No, not the team, the company now. Like the startup. How did it come about?
Okay. So earlier last year, I was tasked to make a virtual reality game. So I didn't know anybody to run to us at that moment because I personally I'm not a game developer. So I remember meeting Chinedu here at one of those GDG meetups here. So I called Chinedu to know if it's something he could jump on. So he accepted to work with me on the project. So that was when I think Kosi was also an old friend I met at Nsukka during one of those meetups as well. So I reached out to Kosi because he was very good with 3D animation. He was very good with 3D animation. So that was how we got talking and we jumped on the project. I guess that was the project that brought together this team. So Emeka joined us later on after his masters at Aberdeen. So
Okay.
yeah, so that was how we decided to start up what we are today.
Okay, so it was founded by, you say you were tasked. What was it, a competition? Or?
Okay. So I work with Genesis Tech Hub.
Okay.
So Genesis Tech Hub is a tech hub, like the name implies, is a technology hub in Enugu here. All right.
Okay.
So we've been trying to put up something around research and development, but we lacked the manpower. That was the major challenge we had. So I'm a very curious person by nature. So when I see challenges, I try to jump at them and see what I can make out of them. So our boss in the office, he called me up one day that we want to do this and this. Do you think it's something you can jump on? Yeah. So I told him that I'll just do my best, but I won't promise him that there will be anything that will come out of it. That was when I started reaching out to my guys, and yes, we are Scuudu today, and we're a startup of Genesis Tech Hub.
Okay, so are you in any way you are affiliated to the tech hub?
Yes, we are affiliated.
Okay, so do they provide you guys support, financial, network? What kind of support do they provide you guys?
Okay, basically everything we need, starting from power, internet, logistics, and yes, office space as well. So that covers a lot of our basic needs. So even when we have financial issues, we run to them as well.
Okay, so do they have some sort of, is this like an investment that they are making, or is this their mandate to support startups?
I can go for it. Yeah.
All right, so it's an investment, so they own a percentage of us. So that way they are very invested in us succeeding because they own a certain percentage of us. So has an investment that they hope to get returns on. But yeah, it's a very, very interesting investment because it's not the safest investment. The kind of projects we try out at Scuudu are very, very moonshot projects. So from AI to IoT to virtual reality, they're not the common day projects. But yeah, they think is what they risk, and we think is what they risk too. So yeah, it's an investment for them.
Yeah, because I'm a bit curious. You know, when it comes to tech space in Nigeria, I think there's a concentration towards the west, Lagos, Ibadan, just the west. If you want to do anything startup, you have to be there. So when I heard that you guys were out of Enugu, I was, a bit, maybe I don't know much about that place, or it looks like there's attention being drawn to the incubation labs and all that in the east there.
Yeah, so what you said is very spot on. Most of the companies are situated in the west, and most of them are fintech, so you hear a lot about them because of the amount of money they make in volume and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's one of the things that led Genesis Tech Hub into investing in us, because Genesis Tech Hub, they are trying to build communities around the southeast. So in major universities around the southeast, they have their own campus community. So when they saw that the startup, we could we believe in the same core values. We are trying to be innovative. We are trying to push the narrative that you don't have to be in Lagos or Abuja to do something creative. We are trying to prove the narrative that there's opportunity, there's talent everywhere in Nigeria. It doesn't have to be just Lagos and all of that. So yeah, that was one of the reasons why they gave us some investment. And yeah.
Then another thing is the space that you guys are in. Just like you mentioned, it's an uncommon space. If you go to the west, there's a lot happening in the fintech space. Everyone is fintech, invest, Flutter, Paystack. A lot is happening there. Now there's attention being shifted towards med tech, tech and med with the whole coronavirus thing. And that area, like even here, I haven't heard of doing things with AI, reality, and so I think you guys are a bit of a pioneer. So So,
First, yes, you could say we're pioneers, yeah, but the problem of being pioneers is that you face pioneer problems. So most people, when you tell most people you're trying to make virtual, most people don't understand the potential of virtual reality or augmented reality. So that's usually the first problem. The first problem we face is educating people of the usefulness of these kind of things and how you can solve their problems before they start accepting technology. So a couple of months ago, before this pandemic and everything, some school children were in our office, and then we had to educate them on, and they were very, very amazed. They didn't know something like this was available. So that's kind of those are the kind of barriers we are trying to change, and narratives we are trying to change around here. Like, we want to make sure that growing up in Anambra is not a disadvantage to you. You can still do whatever you're trying to do. But yeah, it's obviously, we know that it's not going to be an easy task. Trying to do something different in the Southeast is but we've been around for a long while, and we plan on being around for even longer to crack the problem.
Okay. So talking about the services that you guys render, you mentioned AI, embedded system, virtual reality, visual effects, augmented reality. Now, these things have in advanced societies. Not just in advanced, but like the application is enormous. Yeah, but in the Nigerian space right now, real estate sell, like some of the companies that you guys have, like in terms of use of technologies, like this thing that you guys offer, who are you typically? Who are the people that you guys are targeting to build things for?
All right, so that's a very, very lovely question. So when we started becoming a company, the first question we had to answer was, what exactly, who are those our target market? So we didn't want to be called a group of creatives that are just doing new things. We wanted to have a sole target, and that's why we formed 4 arms. So I'm going to start with the AI arm, and then give you some example of kind of projects that and people work for. So for example, in the AI arm, we just recently built a fraud detection system. So in that sense, you can see we're targeting the financial institutions.
Okay.
Now, we also built something for motion capture, our own tool for motion capture. And then that ties it into the game dev. So in the game dev department, we have 4 departments. So the second department is game dev department. Now in game dev department, that was the department that made the virtual reality game. And then when we were making the game, we recognized that we didn't have tools for motion capture. So you have a model, you're trying to map your African hand to that model. We didn't have any free tool we could use, and that's what brought in the AI department and the game dev department working together. Then aside from that, I say something about real estate. So in the next 2 weeks, we're going to release an augmented reality app for real estate all over the world. So with our application, your architect doesn't have to just send you a screenshot on WhatsApp. With your application, you can see your house rendered on your palms, on your table, on your chair. Then apart from the game dev department, we have the IoT department. A couple of weeks ago, we are on the Forbes Accelerator. We are finalists on the Forbes Accelerator program. Yeah, we'll still get there. Yeah, we'll still get there. Okay. So we are finalists on the Forbes Accelerator program. And one of our flagship products there was Friday. In fact, that was the product we preached. So using Friday, like, just for example, in our office, we don't have any light switches or anything. Everything is automated. So when you use your voice, something turns on the light, something reduces light intensity and all of that. So we are starting small and then we are moving up. So that's where the whole IoT thing comes in play. Then finally, we have the branding. So a lot of people come in. So some people come and tell us, we have this idea in our head, but we don't know how to get it out. Or we have something in our head, we don't know how to crystallize it into a product. So the branding team does some form of conceptualization for them. We do some research and say, okay, this is not going to work, this is going to work, these are the market I should be interested in. So yeah, if you notice, these 4 different people, they're addressing 4 different markets. Well, like, yeah, these are the co-founders. We have other people that work under us too, and we have people we report to too, to make sure that we're meeting our milestones. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Okay, so you're targeting. Are you guys using a form of speaker in your? My voice is echoing.
Oh, is it echoing at yours? I think ours is alright. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why it's echoing, but I think we have to manage it like that. Some people are complaining. So, with the game development virtual reality, is there anything you guys are doing to make your, because it's a very competitive space, the game development, there's a lot going on already in that space. So are you guys looking to build games that have maybe educational or
Okay, yeah, that's a that's a very good question. So,
Okay, yeah. As for the game development, when it comes to game dev, Africa is lacking actually behind in game development. So we're trying to actually push it forward. And our virtual reality game is based on African tales, like it's tales of Eri, how we have Norse mythology, Egyptian mythology. So this one will be based on Igbo mythology. Actually, it's based on Igbo mythology. Like
okay?
it's about telling the tales of Eri and how he actually was sent by Chiku to come and create the earth and all those things. So you have to follow through the challenges the game set up for you. So then we also want to work on small 2D and also PC games. Like we have a PC game we want to launch soon. It will also be based on African tales and also some kind of artistic African styles that we actually want to come up with. So yeah, that's actually
and then to answer your question, you understand that it's a competitive space, but there are people they call indie developers.
yes.
Yeah.
So indie game developers are not the big companies; they are small companies. We are indie game developers
Of Nigeria.
of Nigeria. And yet, so we understand that we are very, very particular with the amount of resources we have. So, for example, the last game we made, the VR game we made, took about 6 months to make. So we know how to apportion our resources and how we can stretch it out, and we know what it takes. So it's very possible. It's just you just have to put your mind to it and manage your resources efficiently.
Speaking of which, the fraud detection system sounds like a very useful product in the financial system, but the breakers in Nigeria, in the banks, they would rather contact international guys to give them millions in software development instead of. So how do you guys are you looking to market this to, how are you looking to put this out there?
All right, so this is a very good question. So earlier in the year, we are one of the winners of the Financial Sector Innovators Award. We won a couple of millions there, but that's not the point. So the thing is, that was the first basis for proving that our product worked. And then part of the sponsors of that event was Sterling Bank. And then, so they're also interested in the product. But what you see is a very, very valid question. So, but you asked whether we're planning to market it out. So we have about 3 banks that are in discussions with us concerning this product. We're trying to dot our I's and cross our T's and dot our I's on the agreement and that sort of thing. So we can't talk too much on that. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but apart from that, we're looking to start locally, solve the problems locally, and then move out. Like I said, the narrative is about Nigeria. Let's start with Nigeria and solve the problems and then move.
Yeah, but actually, there was something, I noticed something like, so the problem now with companies in Nigeria is that they will ask you, why do they need to buy your products when they can go abroad and get this thing when they are very sure that their security is guaranteed and all. So before we started, we've also come to a conclusion that we're not going to compromise. Yes, we just have to keep doing our good work and keep reaching out to people. Hopefully one day someone will hear our voice and partner with us to make this dream a reality. So we'll have to keep doing the good work irrespective of what anybody thinks. Yes. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does, because I'm just, I love the idea of local, encouraging our local developers to become involved. When at some point, working industry relied solely on international, most of them didn't have a lot of input into their systems.
Yeah.
People are saying my voice are echoing. I don't know why. I can't.
Why?
I'm sorry, guys, but we just have to manage it like that. Okay, so like I was saying, the industry has come a long way to getting local developers to make input. Nowadays, they have in-house guys. They even have their own what's it called now? Fully built applications that they utilize. So I think that we
In-house
are
dev
getting,
team, yeah.
we are getting there to so how about funds? Getting investors. I granted that these guys have put some investment in you guys, but I suppose we could always use some extra funding, getting some more guys. Are you guys looking at? I'm sure it's tied to product. When you build something that you think you can.
All right, so yeah, you want to speak now?
Yeah, let me just check something. All right, so yes, we need a lot of funding because we are a research and development startup. Research and development is really not easy because you have to destroy a lot of things and recreate a lot of things to come up with whatever thing you want to do. So we need a whole lot of funding, and what we've done here is that for every product to come up with, we try to reach out to some people, or we try to reach out to investors as well to see if they are interested in this product. Yes, so that's how we handle funding. So Emeka, you can continue what you want to say.
I think you've said basically everything, but I think concerning the funding, yeah, funding is very important. Funding is very important, very, very important. But the issue about going public is that we have to be sure of some things like the valuation. Like, for example, if we are going to go public in the current economic system, we're going to have very, very bad offerings. And apart from that, like, we have some certain milestones we have to meet before we'll be able to collect more money to. So exactly. So right now, it's not just about expanding. We are building the local human resource. People we have here should be able to contain expansion before we get more money for expansion. So here we are very, very careful before go and collect more money for expansion at the moment. I think, yeah, it's a very dicey thing. Looking for the right time to go public is a very, very dicey thing. But yes, in the near future, we are going to go public. Very, 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 very near future, we are going to go public. Yeah.
So I think that just like someone mentioned some time ago, like building, you're not going to know which one will take off. Maybe the one you think is not going to be the one that will take off will be the one that will take off and put your name on the map.
Yeah.
And the augmented reality thing you mentioned, I don't think it's in Nigeria yet, in the real estate market. Over here, you want to buy a property, you go to the website of whoever is selling, you get a view of the property, walkthrough of, you don't have that in Nigeria. So that's a huge market in its own. If you guys can market the product effectively.
So yeah, we understand. We understand that. Okay, so in our eyes, all our children are our babies. All our products are babies. But we understand that not all of them are going to mature at the same time. So, like, if you notice, like, for each product I said, it was for each department. So everybody's just focusing on their own sector and trying to meet the milestones that were set for the year. And yeah, everybody gives 100%. Like our office, we don't have weekdays, we don't have weekends. We try to like put in as much as we need to make sure that it becomes a reality. And sit down on your bed and hope that everything will fall in line. We understand that it's not just enough to dream and sit down and see everything will fall in line. We still have to put in extra work to make sure everything. That's just about it.
Okay. So, what are some of the challenges you guys have besides?
Okay, so I think.
Okay, just go.
No, okay. No, you can finish. It's all right. Sorry. Besides what?
Okay, I mean, besides the some of the ones we already know are inherent in Nigeria, lack of support, the ecosystem, people are not aware of what's going on in the tech. If you're just like you say, you have to keep explaining what VR does. So beyond those inherent limitations, some of the big challenges that you guys are facing that you would like to overcome?
Oh, okay. Do you want to go for that?
Okay, so first of all, the biggest problem we have is manpower. That's human resource. So in this part of the world, there are a lot of people with different dreams and different mindsets. So finding people who share the same dream with us is the first problem. And even if you find people who share the same dream with you, you notice that some of them are still novice, like they're not very good at what they do as well. So most of them want to learn from you rather than help you build what you're building. So human resource is the first issue we have, because we spend a lot of time trying to build, and we don't even have the time to train some of these guys. Yeah, and you understand that. Then the other problem we have is funding. Like you asked initially, funding is also one of the biggest problems we have, especially in the part of IoT. IoT requires a lot of spending. You have to buy a lot of sensors, programmable boards, and all those things. So those things cost a lot of money, and because we're a startup, we've not really gotten there yet. So we can't get everything we need at the moment. So funding is one of the biggest issues we have. Okay, so you can talk about the rest, Emeka.
I don't see, like, we understand that funding is a big problem, but let's not just even though we understand funding is a big problem, we have our own way of working around the equipment. So we're making our own boards if we need to make our own boards. We're trying to figure out ways around some equipment when we need to do that. And I think the last thing is related to funding is the equipment. So everybody at the office, we have like serious nerds at the office. Everybody will use like a computer that has 16 gig RAM and maybe 1 terabyte hard drive and something like that. But we can't afford to buy everybody 16 gig RAM systems and hard drives. So yeah. But I think the good side to that, the flip side to that is that we always find ways to solve the problem. So last week, while working on our the motion capture system, we just decided, since we don't have a lot of people that have fast laptops, we had to switch from Maya to Blender. Blender works on many systems. Maya doesn't work on all systems. So all those kind of engineering decisions. And the good side is that it's helping us improve like our, there's less technical depth because we are trying to find answers to serious problems and all of that. So yeah, those are very serious challenges, like very, very, and to talk about the whole training and everything, like you said, all these 4 things we are doing, they are very, very specialized. Everybody here has probably over 20 years experience. We put everything we've learned, like, and all the sleepless nights you put to learn this thing. So to just pour 20 years, or let's say 2 years of everything you've learned on someone that has not done something here, it takes, and to work on real life projects takes a lot of time. So even if you assign tasks, you still have to go ahead and like show this is how this is done, this is how this is done, and then bring it up. But we're not worried about it. We're sure we know it's better in the community. Those around us are going to benefit, and then it's going to keep watering down until it's moved around. But yeah, those are very serious challenges, really, really serious challenges. But just to put this there, we have very, very motivated people that are working for us. So it's not a problem how many hours we spend. Like, it doesn't matter if we keep working 12 hours for the next 2 years. We're happy we have very motivated people that are not financially driven that work with us.
So is it possible that, because I don't really remember their names, but there are some incubation hubs in Lagos that they have network. So do you guys collaborate with the people in the West in terms of keeping your ears out there for opportunities, funding, equipment? Do you guys collaborate?
Okay. All right. So yes, I'm talking about so that's the support that Genesis Tech Hub provides for us. But even before you get something ready for funding, before you look for funding, you have to get the product ready for funding. So exactly, so for the past this is August, since January we've been working very, very hard on products. So that's why at this moment we have a lot of products that are ready for the market now. But before then, you had to do some research. You can't go and look for funding, in my opinion, when you don't have anything started for the kind of funding they are going to give you. So most people don't give funding on ideas; they give funding on products. Yeah. So they don't want to see an idea; they want to see something close. So exactly. So since January, we're working on building up skills. So this is how January started. In January, we had a lot of products. We had to prioritize them based on what the market needed, all of these things. Then we had to start doing literature review to gain skills on, okay, you work on this, you read up about this, you do this. And then we started building until we now got to ourselves here where we have like about 3 or 4 products ready for market. So yes, the Genesis Tech, they provide a lot of technical support, like even in prioritizing the products we want to build. So, everybody wants to build everything at the same time. Like, we want to, even if you leave us now, we want to even build self-driving cars now. But, like, they have to explain to you, this can't come now. You have to finish this first. You have to finish this first. Because all of us here, we are engineers. We don't, sometimes the money business doesn't matter to us. So, we have people, so Genesis Tech, to just summarize the question, Genesis Tech provides the services.
Yeah.
But you have to get to a certain level before you can start looking for funding, or at least something substantial. It's just like taking risks or when you're buying something. If you invest too early, you might not get enough returns. It has to be the sweet spot when you've built up enough technical experience that when you get money, you expand quickly.
Okay. Although you mentioned about equipment, the need for equipment. I'm aware that there are some organizations that start not necessarily as way of investment, but by way of technical equipment. So something just boost. Microsoft, IBM, all these guys. They've got programs that they run annually that they support. So I was just like, okay, you guys collaborate with, beyond the Genesis Tech Hub. Like, do you also network with other incubation labs or other?
Okay.
All right. So we had all these plans in place before the pandemic set in. So now we almost can't do anything because everybody's on break now. So we are hoping that next year rather, we'll start reaching out to people. And like Emeka said, we need to get these products ready so that when you're talking to them, you show them what you've done. Because of the sensitivity of the kind of thing we are doing here, nobody will want to do business with you if you don't have something to show for it. Yeah. So we've spent a lot of time getting these products ready. So hopefully by next year, we'll roll out fully and start reaching out to people.
Okay. So one thing before I ask the next question, I think that when you get are there other startups like you that Genesis is also supporting in the East?
Yes, there are other startups that are being supported. For about 3 years, Genesis has put in over 70,000 USD in funding startups. So there are other startups. Yes, in the East.
Okay.
So there are other startups, but I can't remember all of them by heart. So okay, there's there's Playjaw, there's Patch Shop,
Greenedge.
There's Greenedge Technologies.
Yeah.
So you've funded a lot over 70 USD in the past 3 years on supporting startups, and this comes in place in terms of seed funding. And then this seed funding, there are usually milestones to it to make sure that people don't just carry money and just go and buy land or something. So there are usually milestones inside that you have to do this, then you get this part of money. There's amazing work being done around here. Like even from the facilities to the people, the personnel, there's amazing work done around here to support everybody.
Yeah, it needs to be done because I'm not aware and I'm doing it because I feel as you guys make these milestones, and the story is told, you need to motivate other people, especially in the East. I guess to know that I don't need to necessarily go somewhere else, or I don't need to travel out of the country to bring my idea. In reality, if I can, people have done it. You get what I'm saying?
Sorry, can you come off this last part? Sorry, it cut at the point.
I said, as you guys make the milestones that you've set up for yourself, as you build, as you mature, your story is told to, others are looking up to you. Like the guy is coming up, the guy is studying computer science and, computer engineering in all this network. So can you hear me? Because the network is...
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Network. The network keeps buffering. I think it's back now.
Yeah, it's back.
I can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying that your position is a strategic one. As you guys do what you do and grow, people who are studying computer science, computer technology, whatever, who are interested in tech in the East, your story will become a motivation to them to know that they can bring their ideas to life in that environment.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. That's a very good point. So, to testify to that, when we went for the FSI competition, that was the Financial Services Innovator competition earlier this year, most people didn't expect it. So it was a nationwide competition. Everybody from everywhere in the country came for it.
Yeah.
So people were very surprised when a startup from Enugu came and was one of the winners. So we understand the role we play. Like we are motivating other people. We don't take the role lightly because just like when you're making soup. Soup gets sweet when you keep adding little salt until it becomes very sweet. So we know that our little efforts, they are going to be multiplied to other people in Nigeria. So we understand the role we play in Southeast, and then hopefully more people keep hearing about us and keep being motivated by us.
Okay. During being Emeka now, this is to you. When we were here, the whole elevator business accelerator, thing, we didn't have to pay anything in, and it's the Scottish government initiative. So the business ecosystem here is so supportive and conducive for entrepreneurs. You have an idea, and before you know it, there are like 5 different sources that you can get support from, funding.
True.
It's amazing. You get the government is so supportive.
True.
So
yeah,
what are some of the things you think you need help with in terms of the government, policies, regulations? Network, come on.
Help from government, if I got your question correctly, yes?
Yes, like how do you think?
I think you said everything in the question. Okay, so but to put it this way, it's hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, please. Network. Speaking of support, we need 5G to start with, because network is not network is crazy, man. Yeah. Oh, they've been disconnected. So I think that the Nigerian government has a long way to go in terms of supporting the enterprise and innovation environment in Nigeria, to really encourage people that have ideas. Because I'm in Scotland now, and like I was talking with Emeka, if you have an idea here, before like at each stage of your idea, there are different mechanisms. The environment is so conducive, from funds to technical support to networking. Even university lecturers, the universities, they have systems to help startups, like people in academia, with research, and you don't even have to pay for it. A lot of these things are free. All you need to do is come with your idea, and they support and help you. So I think that in that regard, I mean, look at what these guys are doing in the East, Enugu, for instance. If the Enugu state governor, not governor now, if the Enugu state government has a program to support startups in the state, and these guys become beneficiaries of that program, did you know how much is going to change what they are doing? Even at the federal level, I think the last two administrations, they had You Win, which was an initiative to help people with ideas. I think at some point it was 8 million. So you enter the competition and you bring your idea, and then you get 8 million to go and start your business. And that changed, like that really, really changed a lot for so many businesses. There were lots of businesses that got that money and they invested it and they took off. So it's not just by way of capital, by way of the environment itself, regulations. So I think that this is why Nigerians, when they leave Nigeria, especially the smart tech guys in Nigeria, when they leave Nigeria, they go to other parts of the country and everything is already set up for them. So they just take off. Imagine struggling with all these challenges in Nigeria, power supply, struggling with all these challenges, and okay. Sorry,
Hello?
yeah.
Yeah, network is something else.
One of our issues as well in this country.
So it's one of our problems. But yeah, to answer your question, I think we also have to understand where we are as a country. We are not anywhere close to these other countries. And obviously we want our government to like put in maybe grants that help startups like us, that they can see stuff we've done and can take us to the next level. Probably provide easier access to things like visas when we are going for conferences, and probably fund some of those conferences. Give us access to other people that have, because the other people in governments that are technocrats, give us easy access to these people when we want to try other things, for not just knowledge, but their network with other universities outside. Possibly connect us with these other universities outside for research and development. These are kind of things we want. But like the government, I don't want to talk a lot about politics. I don't like involving myself in politics. But the problem is that those in power don't seem to have a roadmap towards pressing problems like ours. So people are still thinking of maybe putting street light as the main problem, or giving electricity. These are very good things, but they're not also looking at what's next, what of AI, what of these things. Like, so yeah, like most of our plans, most of our projections for the next 5 years are not made with government in mind.
Yeah.
We don't expect any support from governments. And then if the support from government comes, we work on it with 2 hands. But at the moment, we don't expect any support from government. So that's a safer way to play business in this kind of tech infrastructure. Just to give an example, you know what happened in Gokada and the remaining bike infrastructure in Lagos. So that's a very good example of why you should always be very, very mindful of what you call support, because they had support from government before they even had more funding, and later they scrapped everything away. But yeah, that's kind of, and also that's one reason why we diversify. We understand that government policies can just drop out from nowhere and try and spoil business. One reason why we diversify is that at least 2 arms are still working, while we try to get one back on its feet and all of that. And then the third reason why concerning all of this is that we don't plan on remaining just in Nigeria. We plan on spreading. You know what I said is your dreams are valid. Your dreams are valid not just in Nigeria. They're valid in Africa. They're valid in the world. We were in the UK a couple of months ago, and we saw other Nigerians that are really smart also doing very, very well in the UK. So like your dreams are valid anywhere. So that's part of the role we hope to play. But yes, hopefully the government or someone in government sees this video and wants to do something about that. But it's very, very tough to make projections with
Yeah,
saying you're going to have government support is very, very tough. It's a very, very
yeah.
scary bet to make. Yeah.
Because I was saying that last two administrations they had you win. It was a program to support entrepreneurs with state
Mm,
funding or capital or whatever. And I think when they were given
mm.
as at I don't remember how many years ago, but it was the Jonathan's administration. So a lot of entrepreneurs got that money and they started, and it really really helped them. They were able to set up rent spaces, able to set up their business. Now you see how Nigerian entrepreneurs are struggling in Nigeria with the whole difficulty of doing business, and then they get the
Yeah, I understand.
opportunity to leave. Okay, go
So
on.
I test your point. One problem that I feel like the Nigerian tech system is having is that when there's some sort of boom, the government increases stuff like licensing fees and all of that. But like I said,
Exactly.
I'm really careful. I'm really careful about talking about government. I love Nigeria, but like I said, like as a startup, we are very, very. We understand that making projections based on government support is a very, very tricky thing because policies are very ever changing in Nigeria. They're ever changing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we stand on the whole this thing. But we support every government. We're not against the government. We're not. We love our country. But when we're making our policies, we have to protect ourselves too. Because this is not just about four of us in the room. We are protecting the dreams of those in the southeast and then other people that don't have a voice. So we want to make sure that we are building something that lasts even longer than us.
Yeah, and I noticed the trend. Some states are beginning to pay attention to human capital development.
Mm.
Lagos, Benin, Edo rather, I think Rivers too. They set up these agencies that deal with training young people, with skills that they need, tech skills and all that. So I think that governments in the East, they should start paying attention to some of those things too. It will go a long way because we have so much talent. Seriously, like there's a lot. When you talk to some of these guys, it's amazing to see how talented they are, but there is no infrastructure, no ecosystem to support them, nothing.
And what you said is very, very true. It's very, very true. If these people were put in like the UK or Aberdeen, they will move very, very fast, really, because they are far ahead of their contemporaries. But yeah, we're not, like I said, someday from the ocean. And like you said, like another thing that is like these things take time. So even people with train, it's going to take time for them to mature and then train other people. Yeah. So it's not going to be done under 1 year or 2 years. It's a long thing, but
yeah. So I think there's also another issue we have in this part of the world, or the country rather. So in some cases you discover that someone wants to learn from you, and okay, fine, you put in efforts to teach this person, and at the end of 3 years, once the person can model a character in 3D, you discover that the person leaves to start another company. You understand? So in this part of the country, it's just like it's a battle of startups. So people think that by starting a startup, you're already a millionaire. So that's the first mindset we try to correct amongst the team. So a lot of people also come in who've encountered these issues over and over again. People come in to learn and discover that after 3 months, the person starts withdrawing, and the next thing you will see logo. You start seeing logos on WhatsApp status, and then you don't need God to tell you that you're already on your own. So yeah, that's another.
So quick one, what does the future look like, you guys? What are some of your aspirations? You've talked about being influential in at the Nigerian space and then at the continental space. So what are what's the future look like for you guys?
Oh, okay, so if I get your question right, in the next 5 years, we'll have this conversation. How will we know we have accomplished something, right? So I
Exactly.
think I'll just read out our mission. So I think the first one in our mission is to accelerate the production of indigenous technology. We understand the lack of R&D in Nigerian tech space and are willing to take on mission projects in a bid to solve our local problems. So in the near future, if we solve one or two local problems, major local problems we're talking about here, in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll call ourselves very successful. So at the moment, we are trying to tackle issues like electricity. I can't really talk too much because, we have some things under our, but like we're trying to tackle really, really serious problems. So like if you can tackle one or two serious problems in Nigeria, we'll call ourselves very, very successful. And then the next thing is improve local communities around us. That's our second mission statement. So improve local communities around us. We position ourselves to be role models for our community. We want African children to be able to believe their dreams are valid. So this is actually a very, very interesting one because it's very hard to get a metric of measuring where and where we see ourselves in the next 5 to 10 years. But let's say in general consensus, if we can see up to like, if you go to let's say in the FANG of in the next 10 years, the FA engine in the next 10 years, if 10% of those people can point to us as being their inspiration of getting jobs, they are going to change something there.
Yeah.
That's a very, very good metric for us to say, okay, we've actually changed something in our local community. So those are the two things we see ourselves moving towards. But yeah, the focus on the first point, we're going to take even more risks next 5 to 10 years. There are rumors about self-driving cars, but I can't talk or deny about those rumors yet. Like we're going to take even more risks. We're going to solve even more projects. We're going to solve even more problems. But what we understand is going to take a step at a time. So we're done with these projects. We'll commercialize it, raise more money, and then go for even tougher problems.
Yeah. I love what you guys are doing. I'm inspired by the story, the fact that you're in Enugu or you operate out of Enugu makes it all. You guys' story are very inspirational, and I wish you guys all the success in the world. I know it's not easy being an entrepreneur myself. But just keep doing what you're doing. Keep waking up to you to learn from both your successes and your failures. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you guys recognize the problem in Nigeria. You're doing the most you can to solve them with technology. And, by the grace of God, things are going to get better in the Nigerian environment. We pay more attention to startups, to tech, human capital development. Create policies that would help you guys grow. And in about a year time, we're gonna come back and have look at some of the things that how you guys have come.
Yeah, sure. We're very I'll hand over to my boss to finish the whole thing, but we definitely had fun talking with you and talking about our challenges and where we see ourselves there. And then probably next time we see you, you come over to the office and see the amazing things we are doing there.
You'll be amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so thank you very much for the opportunity. When Emeka told me about this section, I was really happy because it's very difficult to see people that will give you this type of opportunity, especially if it is free of charge. A lot of people pay a lot of money for sections like this, and I'm happy you love what we do at Scuudu Labs. And to everyone watching this video, I want to tell them that we are very open to negotiations and collaborations. So anybody can feel free to message us on Instagram or Twitter. So if you have any idea you think you want to work on, if you have any question, anything you're working on and you have questions, feel free to ask questions, and everybody here in the team will try to help you in one way or the other. So we love you guys out there from Scuudu Labs, and yeah, that's all. Do you have any other thing to say, guys? Any other thing? All right.
So once again, thank you. It's 18 seconds to go. It's gonna cut off at exactly 1 hour. The session. Yeah,
All
so
right.
I'm gonna call Emeka. I can get some of the facts, right?